Wait, remember My Dad the Rock Star?
My name's Willie Zilla. My dad is a rock star.
Oh yeah? You don't say? I couldn't tell. Hi, hope you've been well. Today we are taking a look into a weirder, less talked about, barely brought up in conversations, and easily forgettable show, My Dad the Rock Star. Not to be confused with the upcoming My Dad the Bounty Hunter on Netflix. I know nothing about that show, other than their names are similar. So as we go through our November marathon of The Fault in Our Nicktoons, we stop, kick back, shred a nice little riff on this guitar with My Dad the Rock Star.
Don't panic, it's only a TV show.
My Dad the Rockstar was a traditionally animated TV series created by Kiss bassist Gene Simmons, as a co-production between Nelvana and Carrere Group DA for the Canadian channel Teletoon, before eventually being aired on Kids WB, Nickelodeon, and Nicktoons. So it's another situation of Nickelodeon, and I guess even Kids WB, doing syndication deals and working closely, specifically with Canadian broadcasters. So it's kind of a Nicktoon, but not one that would consider itself one. It just happened to play on the same channel as other Nicktoons. What constitutes as a Nicktoon at this point? My Dad the Rockstar ran from September 1st, 2003 to July 5th, 2004 for a total of 2 seasons equaling 26 episodes. Also, September 1st, that's my birthday.
Who cares? Yeah.
Okay, ouch. The show focused on William Willie Zilla, the ordinary, mildly timid 14-year-old son of the flamboyant, rich celebrity rock star Rockzilla, as he tries to live a normal high schooler existence in his new town of Silent Springs despite his family's fame. The creator of the show, Gene Simmons, singer and songwriter best known by his Kiss stage persona The Demon, or for some generations for his appearance in the Scooby-Doo movie Scooby-Doo and Kiss Rock and Roll Mystery. Like Zoink Scoob, you said it! Hi, can you both shut up? I'm in the middle of a video. The concept for My Dad the Rockstar came about when Simmons decided he wanted to make a cartoon series about a loud rock star for his kids after his son Nick, for a school assignment about what their parents do for work, brought in a photo of Simmons drooling blood and spitting fire into his kindergarten class. That's just a regular Tuesday. Simmons took this original concept and turned it into the 2001 children's book My Dad the Rockstar: Rebel Without a Nose Ring. From there, Simmons, a fan of Nelvana's other shows, decided to pitch the book as an animated series to the company, eventually getting it greenlit as a cartoon. Whether the show would be good or not, would you say no to this guy? Throughout the show's 2 seasons, Simmons worked as an executive producer on the series. Fun fact, he also produced an episode of Drake and Josh for some reason, the infamous Sheep Thrills episode. Oh, and for something weirder, wrote for Action League Now. That's a true statement.
Rockin' is his business, and business is good. Now we just need to pull him aside and have a little chat about that green hair. That's so last year.
Nickelodeon presents My Dad the Rockstar, a brand new series.
In early development of My Dad the Rockstar, the series was going to be about Kiss itself before it was changed into members of the family being based off of Simmons' real-life family. For example, the character of Rockzilla, fully named Rockford Amadeus Zilla, is based on a fictionalized version of Gene Simmons, with the character even having Simmons' signature long tongue and having a somewhat similar face makeup. During pre-production, Simmons personally selected Lawrence Bain to voice his animated counterpart. And honestly, it's the best voice in the show, the biggest range of emotions. I'll further go into the voice acting in general shortly. Rock is the titular character of the series, being the rock star dad in question. Totally a main character, is what you would think from how flashy and zany this character is. But the title is My Dad the Rockstar, and we follow his son, who is a very uninteresting character in comparison, so the dad plays off as more of a secondary character. But to be fair, no character can really hold a candle to Rock and his personality. The character is noted for having a lifelong love of rock and roll, and despite often being immature and behaving like a teenager, for caring deeply about his family and doing the best to be a good father. Rock's own father is a classically trained cellist who fostered young Rock's love of music. While the father and son do not quite see eye to eye about what the proper approach to music is, both are shown of course to deeply care about each other. But if you disagree about his taste in music, why would you name him Rock? Like the middle name's Amadeus. Classical Amadeus Zilla doesn't sound better, but I digress. The character of Crystal Zilla, Rock's wife, was based on Simmons' wife Shannon Tweed, an actress, model, and film producer who used her pull within the Canadian entertainment industry to initially get the show made. Unlike her real-life counterpart, Crystal is a pink-haired spiritualist with a very zen parenting style for her children. often citing her third eye as the source for her information. The eldest of the Zilla children is Serenity. Hey yo, you talking about my sister Serenity? This is a really weird Yu-Gi-Oh reference at this point. Serenity is based on Simmons and Tweed's daughter Sophie. She is a stereotypical teenage girl. Spoiled, boy-crazy, egotistical, ditzy, and often picking on her younger brother Willie. Despite all this, she is shown to have a kind side throughout the series, giving Willie advice about love or helping him adjust to high school. Willie Zilla, the main character of the show, is Rock and Crystal's youngest child based on Simmons and Tweed's son, Nick. Willie never had a normal life growing up, spending most of his childhood constantly moving around, touring with his family before they finally settled down into Silent Springs. During Willie's time in Silent Springs, he slowly becomes more comfortable with his identity and the concept of living a normal, more stable life. Like his father and grandfather, Willie has a deep love and talent for music, with his genre of choice being jazz. Willie's musical abilities are showcased throughout the series via his part as a trumpet player in the school band. Yo, why he's standing like that? A common reoccurring character who is not based on anyone in Simmons' family is Nigel, or Skunk, the English ex-driver of the Zilla tour bus and the current friend and manager of the family. Skunk's nickname comes from his iconic two-tone ponytail he rocks in the show. After the Zilla family settles into Silent Springs, Skunk begins to live in the defunct tour bus parked outside of the family mansion. You couldn't just give him a room in the mansion? Willie's best friends in the show are Alyssa, a smart, sarcastic environmental activist who later becomes Willie's girlfriend, and Quincy, who prefers to be called Q, a smooth-talking, self-proclaimed master of love whose narrow-minded father does not like the Zillas for their loud, eccentric ways. Joining Willie, Q, and Alyssa at school is Buzz Salchuk, the school bully. Buzz is brutal, violent, and talks like a Shakespearean actor, often making overly long, drawn-out monologues, serving as the main antagonist in the show. Half the reason he is so mean to Willie is because of his unreciprocated crush on Alyssa. My Dad the Rockstar unexpectedly went on hiatus after the episode Blind Date. A short time after the hiatus started, an announcement was made that the show was being canceled despite popular ratings, or as some claim it to have had low ratings. Either way, not enough people tuned into the show.
Premiering on Nick Monday.
Hi, I'm Willie Zilla. And a normal family. Wait, did I say normal?
And speaking of that final episode, Blind Date, Season 2, Episode 26, Willie is informed by his sister, Serenity, that his plans to hang out with Alyssa one-on-one at a local carnival the next day qualifies as a date. Excited and scared by the concept of going out with a girl who is pretty smart and his best friend, Willie gets an insane amount of advice about dating from Serenity. Despite being overloaded with the advice, Willie and Alyssa's date starts off pretty well. That is, until they run into Q. Q, freaked out by the concept of being slowly left by his two best friends as a third wheel, lies and tells Willie that Alyssa doesn't like him like that. Willie, not wanting to make Alyssa uncomfortable, switches into friendship mode, accidentally upsetting Alyssa, leading to her taking off with Buzz. While all of this is going on, Rock tries to romance Crystal for their 20th wedding anniversary, not quite understanding what she means when she says she wants a quiet, private celebration for just the two of them. Eventually, father and son cross paths, while lost in the tunnel of love, both literally and metaphorically, where they realize what they have to do for their loved ones is to actually listen to what they're saying. Rock finally makes the grand gesture Crystal was waiting for, and Alyssa accepts Willie's apology with a kiss. Though it never got to air, an episode that showcased Alyssa's true rapping skills called Silent Springs Most Wanted, referencing the 2003 film Malibu's Most Wanted, was produced. Take with that information what you want, but overall, this show is very mid. Like, it's fine, it has some funny moments, Rockzilla is a fun character, but it's missing something. Something that sells the show to me, beyond this great concept of a famous musician's son and family dealing with their dad's success. It loses all momentum it was building by having the main kid characters we follow at school all having very relaxed, less expressive voice acting, longer spacing in their talking like I am doing now, at least slow compared to when Rock is on screen. It just becomes a bit of a slower, less exciting show when we focus solely on the high school issues. I do like the art direction, the design of the characters for the most part, but it just lacks a reason to, at least for me, stick in my brain like the melodies and lyrics of all the songs I do love. It's not an awful show, by any means. It's one that if you have nothing else to watch, it would be fine and passable for an easygoing time waster. Check it out for yourself, let me know. Also, let me know what you think about the show if you have already seen it. Thanks for jamming out with me today. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more content like this. Follow me on Twitter. Or else, I'll be back with another video soon, but until then, later.